My pronouns are she, her. Today is Wednesday, May 20th. First, this is going to be the first clip of my May vlog. However, the next clip you're gonna see is my new house, which I actually took that clip yesterday on the 19th, but I thought it would be weird to start the vlog that way, so we're gonna just, do it backwards. But I just wanted to show you what I've been stitching on for the last couple weeks since I got home from Stitch North. It's a lot. It's a lot because I've just been kind of like bouncing back and forth, and so there's never been like a good time to be like, hey, I've put in a lot of work on this, now let me show you. But anyway, so let's just get started and then I can talk a little bit. So here's my at the beach piece, which I showed you when I was still at Stitch North. I think after I concluded with y'all, I did add that darkest blue down there. Oh wait, I don't know, y'all, when I did that darkest blue, because it's obviously on the needle right now, which means I did not do it in Toronto. I don't know, but I know that since I last spoke to you, I added the fish in the last row, and I added the word, so I added some more text. Before it said close your eyes and pre, so I've added tend your. I need to do at the beach. But I added that little fish down there at the bottom, and then I did start that darkest wave. I can't remember why though. I can't remember why I started it, because I remember distinctly that's like easy to do without the chart, So I know there was a reason why I started it, but I can't remember. But yeah, but I've done the two fish, the dark background for the fish, and the tend your, and the darkest blue in that wave. So a little bit of work, but I'm definitely going to work on this on June 7th. I'll be going to a stitch day, and I'm going to take this because I don't need to take my tablet for it. So I have also worked on my Broadway piece. Since you last saw this, I finished off the word Broadway and I added the word theaters. And then I'm pretty sure the last time I showed it, I had done the first row of buildings that are on the left, and I was down at that bottom. I was on the bottom, and so I've added those three that are at the bottom in the middle, and then I came back up at the top and started those buildings that are in the middle. Yeah, this is going well. This is also a very easy, I wouldn't need to take my tablet, I would just need to consult my phone. It's a little trickier up here where I haven't done yet. It's a little trickier up there, but other than that, the buildings are really straightforward. Yeah, so this is going well. It'll get very finicky once I'm done with the gray, but that is going to be my plan. I'm gonna finish all the gray before I put in any of the colored theaters. Then I have been doing, I know I had said oh, I'm not gonna do survivor stitching anymore, but I did leave those projects out, and I actually have been doing survivor stitching. I'm completely caught up on survivor stitching right now, until tonight, and it's definitely not happening tonight. I will explain more. This has gotten a lot of work, but yeah, these trees are basically done, and yeah, it's going well. Although what's not going well is the fact that I don't have a lot of bulk stitching left. I may need to move the Q-snap so that I can give myself some grass to work on. Although this only has one player left assigned to it, so as long as Joe doesn't win the game, Piper. As long as Joe doesn't win the game, I don't actually need to put too many more stitches into this. We'll see what happens tonight is actually the finale. So I'll know, like, kind of, obviously all 5 players will be getting, you know, all 3 projects are still assigned to the 3. Okay, there are 5 players left in the game. All 5 of those players represent all 3 of my projects. So all 3 projects will get one more go on them. I just don't know like how many stitches to each. I've been doing about 100 to 150 stitches per elimination. But then I thought for the winner I would try to do 500. I will at least do 250 for the winner. It just kind of depends on like how much I get going, you know, how much time I'm gonna have, etc. But so all 3 will get some more work before I put them away. But yeah, so I did quite a bit. I don't know if it's quite a bit. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. Like, I don't know what's happening anymore. But I've done work on this. That's the point. I've done work on it. I don't know. I don't think I've done... No, I haven't done any work on Beachcomber since you last saw it because I remember I explained in detail at length what happened with this piece. Nothing has happened with a tribe there. This last Survivor piece, though, is very exciting because I'm about 1,000 stitches away from finishing this now. I know there are 2 players left assigned to it, so obviously, like, I can't finish it for Survivor because that would be, even if I did 500 for a winner, that's not going to get me there. But it's almost June. June is Pride Month, and this is a design by a queer designer, and it's about, you know, pride. So, or it's about, you know, love is love. So this is going to be a finish in June for sure. That is, if I do nothing else in the month of June, I will be finishing Move Forward in Love, which I'm so excited to be able to finish. As you can see, I'm just missing a little bit of green down here, a lot of green up in the upper right corner, and then white fill-in. I have to fill in all the doodads with white, the sides of the middle motif in white. The words have to, you know, forward shows up really well in this light, or in the camera. It does not show up that well in person. So I have to fill it in. I'm not going to fill it, the text I'm not going to fill in with white, but I just haven't decided what color to fill it in with. I'm thinking maybe the $37.99 that I used for the vines. But that just feels like a little dark to me. I don't know. I don't know what color I want to fill it in with, but it's going to be a finish in June. I'm so excited. And then, and then there's more. Just wait, there's more. I started, I know in April, I showed y'all the 3 projects that I wanted to work on. Excuse me. The 3 projects that I wanted to start for my new home. And I have started all 3 of them, but just barely. So this is the first one I started. This is the Roll Initiative piece. It's going to say, welcome to our home, Roll Initiative. And there's going to be a D20 and 2 dragons. I really like how this is looking. This is going to be really cool looking. I just did 1 day on that. I've just done 1 session on all of these, although the last one is not impressive because I just started it like 40 minutes ago. Then the next one is, this is the one that's going to say everybody or everyone is welcome here. And I'm stitching it on this gorgeous rainbow fabric. And all I have is ever. This has been, when I was stitching on this yesterday, it was super satisfying to me. Just like do a letter, and basically I'm color completing, although not really, because some of these colors are in the hearts that are at the bottom of the chart, and y'all, we're not counting that far. This was hard to start though because I wanted the placement to be so specific, um, because I want all of the color to be in here as possible, as much of it. And actually, basically, what you're seeing here is basically going to be the framed piece. Yeah, this is about the view that's going to be in the frame. So I'm going to have a lot of margin, and so it's going to be just stunning. I'm really excited for this one, and I was really happy working on it. It was made my brain really happy, like basically color completing and like every letter just being a color. Yeah, so I will get back to this one probably sooner than the other two. And then this morning I started the last piece, which is that pretty, it says the word welcome, and it's got like little flowers and stuff in between the letters and whatnot. This is only 40 stitches. I didn't have a lot of time this morning before I needed to film this clip because everybody's about to be up and moving for the day. But yeah, I started it. I wanted to get all of them started before we actually move. And that is tomorrow. By this time tomorrow, movers will be here in the house getting everything loaded. So this is my last clip from this house. I'm sad. Like, it's weird. I've been spending this whole time like so excited to get out of this 2-story house. But then like all of a sudden, like now that it's upon me, I am a little bit sad. Like, I don't know, this house was good to us. It's not her fault she has stairs. And I'm feeling very emotional about like for my dogs, like I know they'll be okay. But Piper's never lived anywhere else. Atticus is 12, but he's been here for 9 years. So we're actually really close to the anniversary that we moved into this house. I think we moved into this house on like either a May 26th or a May 28th. And today is the 20th. So, he's been here for 9 years. So he was only 3 when we moved in here. So he was still so young. And yeah, like I said, Piper's never lived anywhere else. And it's going to be, like, in my opinion, anyways, I feel like it's going to be jarring for them because the house is still going to look normal, as normal as it's been for the last month. And we're going to go take them where we found somebody through our groomer who is going to watch them for the day at her house. So we're going to take them out of the house in the morning with the house basically looking normal, and then they're going to spend 8 hours with this lady who they don't know. She did come over and say hello to them yesterday. But like basically we're going to take them to a strange house with a stranger, leave them there for 8 hours, which we never do that. We don't leave them anywhere. And then we're going to go pick them up and take them to a completely new home that they've never been at before. And I don't know. I'm very anyway, I said when I filmed the clip of the house yesterday, I said I would tell y'all it's been a really stressful week. We were actually supposed to have possession of the house a week ago, but we had to extend out our closing because the long story short is that we were applying for a very specific type of loan to an equity loan for this house so that we could use those funds to make our down payment and closing costs for the new house. And we were applying for a specific type of loan, and sort of not really at the last minute, but like near the end of the process, it became apparent that that specific loan wasn't going to work. So we had to pivot to a different type of loan. And we did everything as soon as we possibly could as far as filling out the application and submitting all the information that they wanted and everything. But then, and it got approved, it was fine. But then the lender, she was like, oh, okay, there's just one last step. You're totally approved. That's not the issue. It's just we have a review where somebody just makes sure that everything on the documents is correct. Like names are spelled right, social security numbers are right, dates are right, all that stuff, so that way the paperwork that you sign, that we can't find some weird last minute error. So we're like, oh, okay. And she was like, yeah, so you'll get the documents to sign today or tomorrow. And we're like, okay, cool. And then they didn't come through. That was a Thursday and they didn't come by the end of Friday. And then it was the weekend. And so then Monday we're like, are we going to get documents today? And they're like, hopefully. And then it didn't happen by the end of Monday. So then the next day, people started to kind of light a fire under people's butts of where are our documents? What's going on? So finally on Wednesday, they called us, the department that reviews the documents called us and asked us very weird questions. Basically just asked us identifying, verifying your identity kind of questions. You know how when you apply for, or if you ever sign up for a credit monitoring service and they're like, which of these addresses have you ever lived at? And what year, make, model vehicle did you own? They asked us questions like that and we're like, what is going on? So we think nobody ever told us this or told the lender this, but we think maybe either we randomly got selected to be verified that we weren't a fraudulent application, or my husband has a weird name situation with his father, and we haven't really ever experienced issues in the last 20 years with that being a problem, but they have experienced issues in the past with credit being mixed up between the two of them. So that could have potentially got confusing, I guess. But anyway, so that's what held that up. And then after we signed it, you have a 3-day waiting period because they want to make sure you're not going to change your mind. We're like, hello, we're not going to change our mind. We're buying a house. But you have to wait the 3 days. And so then the funds were supposed to be in the bank on Monday. But, and our lender had told us oh yeah, they wire you the money, and, wires are very fast, right? They within an hour you should have it. So Monday came and the bank opened and nothing, and it'd been a couple of hours and nothing happened. And so I checked in with her. I was like, hey, I don't have anything yet. What's going on? So she called, the department that issues the funds to be like, hey, what's going on? And she found out it wasn't actually a wire transfer. It was more like a direct deposit transfer. And so that can take 1 to 3 days. And I was like, listen, y'all, I've been telling you this whole time, I have movers coming on May 21st. We are running out of business days. Do I need to move my movers? And everybody every time kept being like, no, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. I was not convinced it was going to be fine. But thankfully, Tuesday morning, which was yesterday, the funds showed up in the bank. So then we were able to go to the bank and wire the funds to the title company to fund, our down payment and our closing costs on the new house. And then we were able to meet with the realtor last night to get our keys. And so that's when I took the next clip you're going to see of the house. I do a walkthrough of the house. And yeah, so basically we got keys about 36 hours before movers are arriving at our front door. I was like, y'all could not have cut this any closer. And I was supposed to have a week. Oh my God, y'all. So today, we're going to have a very full day of, there's a bunch of stuff that I want to take over to the house myself, my stitching stuff. And I'm going to take some baskets of clean clothes and like baskets of clean bedding, so that that's already like sitting on the floor ready for me to make the beds, you know. I want to take over some of the food from the kitchen. We have a fridge and a freezer out in the garage, and those are going to be unplugged too long to keep the food in there, so we have to take that food over. So we're going to take a bunch of stuff over to the house. Also, we have curtains that we want to hang up because we're like blackout curtain people. So I want the blackout curtains up before we go to sleep the first night. So we're going to hang the curtains. I also have rugs being delivered there today, hopefully. They haven't shipped yet. They're coming from Amazon and they haven't shipped yet. So I'm like, oh, please show up today, because my thing is I really need the rugs down before the furniture is in the space, you know? But, so hopefully the rugs show up, you know, today. But so we're going to take a bunch of stuff over to the house and hang up the curtains. And then I have an appointment that I'm going to go to. And then I'm going to go back to the house and wait for a grocery order to get delivered so that we have some groceries. Because I can't tackle the whole kitchen today. That's crazy. So I want some groceries and just some cleaning products. Like, I'm leaving all my cleaning products here at this house because we still have to deep clean here. So I'm just going to get a couple of very bare necessities for the new house. So I'm going to go back to the new house to wait for that grocery order. And hopefully by then the rugs will be delivered. And we can put the rugs down. And then here at the house, I also just have a few boxes that haven't gotten taped up, and I still have some things sitting on pieces of furniture that I'm gonna need to move for the movers, you know. Just a lot of little like last minute things. So today is gonna be really long and really stressful. And then tomorrow is going to be even longer and even more stressful. The movers are showing up in the morning. And then by the end of the day, we'll be in the new house. And I'm going to be exhausted and go straight to sleep. So, yeah, but like I said, this is going to be my last clip in this house. And I'm planning, probably, because I've been bouncing around on my project so much, I'm probably just going to come back once at the end of the month and basically just show you all of these projects again. Because I'm just bouncing around. I'm just stitching on whatever feels good in the moment. I'm usually grabbing the next thing I'll do probably will be survivor stitching, because I'll know, obviously I know I need to work on all of them. I just don't really know how much I need to work on all of them. So the next several things that I'll do will be the survivor stitching. And then, I've been enjoying my Broadway piece. Is very easy on my brain. That everyone is welcome here was also very easy on my brain. I probably actually won't work on this again, with all the plethora of options I have. So this is probably going to be a super small start. I usually like to at least get 100 stitches for the day, but that's probably not going to happen because I have too much to do today. But I wanted to at least get it started. But yeah, so that's it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm having feelings about it now. But it's gotta be for the best. Not that my mom, I'm gonna drop this. Not that my mom and I were super close or anything. I didn't have a good relationship with her. But it was interesting. 3 days ago on Sunday, I went to a show, and my Lyft driver, her name was Shelly, which was my mom's name. And I thought about her at the time because I actually don't encounter a lot of Shellys. And so I thought, oh, it's interesting. My driver's name is Shelly. And then when we were at the house last night after the realtor gave us the keys, the neighbor was out in his driveway, and just like as soon as he kept to himself like while our realtor was there, but like as soon as the realtor was like, okay, bye, um, we started to unload our van, and he was like, oh, you must be the new neighbors. And so we started talking to him, and he actually seemed really nice, which made me really happy. He's also the owner of the dog. I think I talked about the fact that there is a barky, reactive dog in the next yard, and we have a reactive dog. And so he's the owner of that dog. So I was like, oh, you know what? So it's funny because I'm terrible. Like, I'll forget, something that somebody told me 2 seconds ago. But I was like, in my brain, I was like, Danielle, please don't forget these people's names, because the neighbors that I have now, I remember meeting her like, day one, day two, whatever, and she told me her name and I forgot it. And to this day, 9 years later, I've been too embarrassed and mortified to ever be like, hey, what was your name? So I was like, Danielle, you're not going to forget. So he told me his name is Sean, and we were speaking for a little while, and then at some point he was like, so it's him and his wife, and they have 2 adult sons. And one of the adult sons still lives with them at home, and the other one is, he goes to college in Kansas or Kansas City. I remember Kansas for sure. But anyway, when I asked him, I said, what's your wife's name? He said, Shelly. I was like, that's really weird. So even though my mom and I didn't have a good relationship, I do believe that, like, I definitely believe, like, the stories I could tell you about, you know, interactions that I've had from, I don't know. I don't know if it's energy or spirits or what, but, like, I'm a believer. And I also think that, like, possibly, perhaps, in death, like, the more a person kind of like wronged you in life, maybe the more they're gonna look after you, on the other side. I get more interaction with my grandma than I do my mom, but yeah, it was just interesting to encounter her name twice this week, twice in 2 days, and that our neighbor is named Shelly. So interesting. Just hopefully it just means we're doing the right thing. We're landing in the right place. Phase 2 is going to be selling this house. And I just really hope that happens really fast, because I do not want to financially carry these 2 homes for very long. It's going to be very straining. But it was the easier way, like, stress-wise, to, like, not have to sell this house while we buy another house and be showing this house with all of us still living here and all of our stuff still here and everything. So, yep, phase 1 is almost over. Phase 2 is starting soon. Yeah, like I said, I'll come back in probably 10-ish days and show you all these same projects again, or at least most of these same projects. And you'll see my new house in the next clip. And yeah, that's it. It's been almost a half hour. I didn't expect to talk this long. But yeah, so I will see y'all in the next clip. Bye. Hey everyone, Danielle here. I'm in my new house finally. Y'all, it has been a saga to get here, but I'm in my new house. It's still empty because we don't move for another 36 hours, but I just now finally got the keys. So I wanted to show you the house while it's empty. And then, in the future, I can give you an update in the long distance future. But anyway, I'm standing at the front door. So, like, you'd walk straight in. We're gonna have to put up some kind of gates to keep the dogs away from the front door because they have no manners and no behavior. So Gotta keep the dog safe. And of course there's like two, entrances. So, or like two ways to access the front door. So, yep, got my kind of work cut out for me there. And then if you go left, we're coming into the living room. And this is kind of like, this is what would be considered a formal living room, but it is probably gonna be a main space for us because it's attached to the dining room. And my brother-in-law does actually use the dining room, like all 3 meals. So yeah, we're gonna have like our couch and his chair here. My side should be that side. So my stitchy stuff is gonna go here. And then couch, chair, and then this is the dining room. And we have a very large hutch that will take up pretty much that whole wall there. And then even though this wall is lovely, we're probably not gonna be able to put anything on the wall because we're gonna run the dining room table like this ways instead of this ways. So that it doesn't intrude onto the kind of small living area. But I can hang cross stitch on that wall, you betcha. And then over here, that's the door to the laundry room, which unfortunately really isn't an upgrade from anything that I already had. It's just big enough to fit the machines basically. And then you come in here and here's the kitchen. The counter is a mess because our realtor was very sweet and gave us like a goodie bag of snacks. But yep, here's the kitchen. Eventually I would like to, I don't love a side-by-side fridge, so I would like to replace that. Maybe paint the cabinets. The dishwasher, we heard it during the inspection and it's very loud. So I think the dishwasher will have to get swapped out maybe pretty quick. And then also I don't love like side-by-side sinks or like split sinks. So I might want to replace the sink with one doesn't have a divide. That's what I was trying to say. And then this over here would be like the family room. Oh, I'm so excited for this pantry. This pantry is an upgrade, for sure. We have like a closet pantry. So this is a big upgrade. These are really deep shelves. Yeah, so I'm excited because we do keep a lot of our food, like pantry style food, in the garage. So I'm excited to get an upgraded pantry. And so this would be like the family room. Interestingly, they left that TV. We tested it, it works. It's bigger than our TV. So I guess we're gonna keep it. I don't know. But this is kind of gonna be, my husband is gonna have like his desk set up in here. The movies, like our DVDs will have to go in here. And he's gonna have like, he builds like models, like D&D models and Warhammer stuff. And so we're just gonna try to set this up kind of so that somebody could sit here and watch TV, because we always have his brother. So like I want to there's gonna be a rug here and like a chair for him. But then like the rest of the space is really gonna be, like all this wall space is gonna be like for his desk and storage for him. Oh, I didn't notice we had a storage cabinet under the island thingamabob. Also, this is the door to the backyard, which means we have to have like, our dogs are used to like getting a cookie when they come in from outside. So we're gonna put up a little like spot here under the light switches for their cookies. maybe feed them there too. I haven't decided where they're getting fed. I have no idea. Down the hallway, we have this first bathroom is gonna be my brother-in-law's bathroom slash if we have guests bathroom, slash, you know, daytime bathroom, I guess. This here is gonna be my brother-in-law's room. He doesn't have much really, just his bed, and he has like a Star Wars cardboard cutout and a shelf with some knickknacks and a radio. This, you guys, I'm so excited for this linen closet. I have never had a linen closet. And so I'm like, okay, first of all the cleaning supplies that normally live like in 3 different bathrooms, and they're just gonna live in here. And also, I like to have like couch blankets, and I love to buy blankets, but then like I don't have room for them. So like the fact that I'm gonna have all this space for blankets makes me really happy. And then this is gonna be my craft room. Oh, where's the switch? So I haven't mapped it out yet, but you know, we have a lot to put in here. I'm definitely going to utilize the closet, I think, for, you know, some pieces of furniture for storage, like the IKEA cubbies, and I have the little like cart drawer things. I have a desk that needs to go in here, the 2 rolly wardrobes for fabric, the 3 spinners for floss. I want to put another IKEA calyx in here, and maybe my bookcase from downstairs. We're gonna have to see. I'm gonna just tell the movers to put the furniture in here, and I'll figure it out later. Yeah, so this is my craft room. And then here is the master bedroom. The bed is gonna go on this wall, and then we're gonna have a dresser in that corner and a dresser in this corner, and it's gonna make the room a little tight, but I have another dresser that's gonna go along the wall in between the curtains. The closet is actually a really good size, so I think I might be able to put some furniture in here to help with storage too. Like, I think that's gonna be my side of the closet. And then I'll probably use most of these cubbies. And then this is gonna be his side of the closet. And then I don't love that this bathroom is like open, like with how bright these lights are, because sometimes we sleep at different times. So that's gonna be interesting. We'll see. And then I even have a linen closet in the bathroom. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for that. And then this is just like a shower with a step in, which will be better than the tub for my husband. Yeah. So that is our house. I am very excited to move. I just want this part over, you know? I will definitely tell you all about like what happened with, this is a week late. It is a week late. It's been a very stressful week, but yeah, so this is it. We'll be in it by the time you see this for sure. So, all right, I'm gonna sign off and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone. It is currently like 1 o'clock in the morning on May 25th. I know I said I would just come back like one more time for the month, but I decided to check in because I felt like this was monumental, whatever. I finally have put some stitches in. When we last spoke, stitching wise, was like the 20th. And I had finished, what I was going to get done for the day. And now it's the 25th. And basically, so I did start technically on the 24th, like with 10 minutes left in the day. And then now so I've been stitching for just a little over an hour. And I just wanted to show you that I've actually done some stitches. This is about 100 stitches that I did. I had been over here somewhere. And I took it over. I'm past the kelp now, which is great because now it gets easier. I don't have to think about the path so much. And that was part of why I picked this one up, because I just didn't really want to have to think too much. But I mean, I did, because I had to go through that kelp, but it's not bad. But yeah, so I'm in the new house. It's a mess. It's a mess, y'all. But, that's as to be expected. The last several days have just been an absolute horrific train wreck, as far as, I'm trying to take care of 2 houses, right? Because I'm trying to fully get out of my last house. There was on move day, y'all, move day was so horrific. There's just all sorts of little things in your home that either you're using them up to the last minute, or you can't really get to the power cords for stuff without moving the furniture, and the reason why you hired movers is to move the furniture. So, and I told the movers, I was like, if it's a little item, that's on a surface or whatever, just put it on the ground, and we're gonna deal with all little items. And they were like, okay, because my job was estimated to be a 7-hour job. He thought they might need a little bit longer than that, and then he warned me. He was like, when we hit 8 hours, we go into an overtime rate. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let's try to avoid that. So while they could have and would have, if I'd asked them to, put those little things in boxes, it was not going to be a fast thing to do. And so I was like, no, just put it on the floor and we'll do it. So they got us moved, and the only thing that really went wrong with the move was that when they were unloading here, they were not paying attention on the boxes, where the boxes were supposed to go in the house. And I should have known better, but pro tip for any of you, if y'all are moving, please label all 5 sides of your box. So, not the bottom, but label the top and label all 4 sides, because by the time we discovered that they had put a lot of boxes in the garage that were not supposed to be in the garage, that should have been somewhere in the house, like a bedroom or the kitchen or something, we were running, it was late in the day. And again, I did not want to hit overtime. So they did spend a few minutes trying to pull out the boxes, but I had only labeled the tops. So if there was a stack of 4 or 5 boxes, they didn't find everything. And what I wish I had done, what I should have done at the time was what I should have said is, you guys are going to pull out all these boxes and find the boxes that go in the house, and I'm not going to pay for the time that it takes you to do that, because that's what you should have been doing for the last 2 hours as you unloaded them. So get on the phone with your office and be like, hey, we're going to have to take an extra half hour. That's just what I should have done. But, it was the end of an extremely long day, and I didn't even think of that. But so we ended up having to, not that day, but a couple of days ago now, we spent 2 hours and we pulled every box out of the garage and identified the ones that needed to come into the house, and then sort of reorganized. We took it at least as an opportunity to kind of reorganize and set some like priority, make sure we could navigate. There's like a sprinkler system in the far back right corner. The trash cans are in the upper right corner, so like we needed to be able to navigate to certain areas. So we did some reorganization, but that was brutal. So I definitely did call the company and be like, hey, while the team was, they were all very nice guys, they worked very hard, this did happen, and now we have a really big mess on our hands to sort out. So it wasn't too many boxes. It was probably like 10 boxes maybe that should have either gone in the kitchen or the bedrooms, mainly. But but then since then, so that was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we've gone to the house every day. Because again, all those little items, and actually basically our master bathroom and our kitchen, like, well, not kitchen stuff like baking stuff and pots and pans that you never find yourself using, like that stuff had all been packed in the kitchen, but anything that was everyday, so like our everyday dishes, our everyday silverware, the couple of pots and pans that we use not every day, but those are the ones we reach for. All of our food, so like our fridge food and our pantry food, I didn't pack any of that. Because by the time it came time to do it, I mean, first of all, I was so stressed out from what I told you guys was going on with the loan and the documents to be signed and the waiting periods, and feeling like it was also very much feeling like, do I have to push this move? And if I have to push this move, I can't pack this stuff up yet, So by the time we actually knew, yes, we can still have our original date, I ran out of time. My kitchen was an absolute disaster, especially because since I was going to tell them don't touch anything in the kitchen, that was like the only place that I could put things that like I didn't want them, to touch or move, like random stuff like my laptop and, our meds for that we needed to take to the new house that night, and like just stuff that I definitely didn't want them to like accidentally grab or, and then me not know where it is. So the kitchen was an absolute disaster. So we've spent Friday, Saturday, and Sunday going back to the house, packing up those things in the kitchen, in the bathroom, getting, I had a couple spaces in the house, like where I had my computer, there was a TV with some electronics plugged in. All that stuff was sitting on the floor because, again, I was like, if it's small, if it's in the way of the furniture, just set it on the ground. I have made so many trips up and down those stairs. Yesterday, on Sunday, I almost cried. Like, so Sunday's objective was to get to work upstairs and get every like screw and nail and command strip off the walls. But then everything that was left on the floors had to come downstairs because on Tuesday, carpet is going in. And so all that stuff had to be off of the floors upstairs. The flooring isn't being replaced downstairs. So, and I literally, like, I just nearly started crying because I also did a lot of like up and downstairs, Friday and Saturday too. So yeah. But we're definitely more than halfway done as far as being, out of that house. Like all we really have left to do. So like the upstairs is completely done, except I did forget with my bathroom. I like at the last second realized that I actually still didn't pack up. We have 2 cupboards and 3 drawers. I didn't pack anything in those drawers. I was just like worried about the countertop stuff. So, but that doesn't need to be done before the carpets. So I can do that after the carpets. But other than that, the upstairs is 100% done. There's nothing left in the upstairs. That's it. Downstairs, we do still have, like, his computer still hasn't been moved. And, like, we still have some, like, pictures that were on the walls. So now they're just, like, resting against the walls on the floor. And there's still some items in the kitchen that we did not get to. And it's mainly just because, like, of space. We've had the time to work, but, like, it's just about how much the van will hold to, like, bring back over here. And, like, yes, we could have made multiple trips. But y'all, like, it's so hard. It's so much work. So we're really close. So what we're going to do today, Monday, is go back over to the house. We still have some stuff to get off the walls downstairs, but it's not much. And then everything that's on the floor or on a counter in the downstairs needs to at least go to the garage, because starting Tuesday is when carpets are going in and deep cleaning downstairs is starting. So I don't want anything to be in the way. The only things I'm leaving in that house on counters is cleaning supplies. So, and then once everything is in the garage, I'm going to be at the house every day this next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I'm going to have my husband come pick me up at the house at the end of the day, and we'll just load up the van with whatever fits. And I think that between all 4 of those trips, it'll for sure be done. So I don't feel like this time crunch anymore that I was definitely feeling before. And I feel like with everything, getting everything down the stairs, that's like the worst of it. Like, the worst of the work is over. I would say the deep cleaning would be bad, but I'm not doing the deep cleaning. I have hired that out. But anyway, so it's been just truly awful. I have been exhausted. I have been in so much pain. I've been on the verge of tears several times. I will just be really glad once, like, maybe I could just focus on this house, you know? The only thing we've really done here so far is we got the kitchen pretty much sorted. We got his brother's bedroom done, but that's the easiest space in the entire world. He literally has clothes, bedding, and a little bit of decor. Like, that's it. And then we've pretty much got, like, our clothes unpacked, but I really haven't done anything with the bathroom. Our bathroom is still sitting in between the countertop and 2 medium-sized boxes is what our bathroom is like right now. And that's it. Like, and then we did the garage of reorganizing to put some priority stuff together. Our living space is fairly set up. I'll just kind of show you. So here's our TV and fireplace that we don't have plugged in because the fireplace, like, remote, you know, like the inner, what is it, the frequency, like turning on and off the TV will turn on and off the fireplace. But we had kept this thing just as, like, to use as a TV stand, you know. Those couple pieces probably don't live here, but we haven't moved them anywhere. Finally, yesterday I set up the stitching stuff so that I have my stitchy corner finally. And then that's the entryway over there. And then my brother-in-law's chair and our dining room. Since we can see the dogs, Atticus, stop that. I'll just let you know how they're doing. So Surprisingly, Atticus is not having as much trouble as I thought he would have, but Piper is having more trouble than I thought she would have. So between the two of them, they have balanced out to be about as problematic as I thought it would be. But they are doing pretty well. I could tell, though, that Atticus is still unsettled by the move, because when we had some guests over on Saturday night, he threw up for no apparent reason. He doesn't actually throw up that much, but he does suffer like upset stomach sometimes. And we have had issues in the past of having company over and then having him throw up. So I was really glad that particular day that we didn't feed them early, because normally when we entertain over the evening hours, we'll feed them early. But we had not, so thankfully he did not have a belly full of dinner to puke up. But so that was an indication to me that, like, because we haven't had that issue with him in so long of like people coming over stressing him out, that I was like, oh yeah, you're kind of stressed. But we contain him to this space. You can see how the two gates are set up. Unless we are with him and like supervising him, we don't allow him out of the space because he has a history of peeing on things. And so I just try to keep him contained, and so that potential damage is minimized. So he's been pretty content. Even if I leave the space and I take Piper with me, because she, on the other hand, has not been. Like at the old house, because it was such an open floor plan, even if she was on the other side of his barrier, she could still see me. Here she can't, because like as you can see, if I go to the kitchen, if I go to the, well, I mean, obviously at the old house I couldn't go to the bedrooms, but if I went to the kitchen, for sure she could watch me. Here she can't. So she has been having an absolute fit. And she, when my husband took her to the dog sitter, she really didn't want to stay. And I mean, why would she? She didn't understand. Like, so she's just been having an absolute fit if she can't get to me. So, but I usually let her walk around with me as long as, the front door isn't going to be being used. Then I don't care. She can come with me wherever. But like at first I didn't want her to like, I didn't want to separate her and Atticus, because then I'm thinking Atticus is like, well, why am I over here by myself, So it was rough for a couple days. One of her funny little quirks, as far as the move, is that at the old house, our bedroom is kind of flipped. So at the old house, the door to leave the bedroom was on my husband's side of the bed. And here it's on my side of the bed. And so she doesn't understand, because we have stairs for her. She doesn't understand that like now she has to leave the room by jumping down on my side of the bed. So she's funny. She's set in her ways. Things are supposed to be a certain way. But no, so they're doing pretty good. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna film another clip of my craft room now that it's loaded full of stuff. It's not the craft room is not gonna get done anytime soon. But I just wanted to like show you how it looks now, with all the furniture and boxes in it, and then that way there'll be, something to compare it to, hopefully in June. Like the dining room and the craft room are like high priority for me. Just dining room, just because I want to get all my dishes, the amount of dishes and decor that are packed up in the garage because of the dining room is a lot. So getting those boxes out of the garage is like high priority. But yeah, I'm gonna film another clip of the craft room so that you can see what it looks like before I get it organized. And yeah, I don't know what I'm going to stitch on. It's going to be a rough week again. But I think after this week, it'll really settle down. After the handyman is done doing some very minor basic repairs, we're having the house staged on June 7th. And then the week of like June 8, 9, 10, 11, I guess, I don't know exactly how long or how many days, that's when the realtor and her team are going to be, taking pictures and measurements and doing all that stuff. And then she's told me it will be on the market that second weekend of June. So I'm like, by the time we get the house staged, like there's nothing left for us to do except just wait, wait for an offer. So after this next week, it should calm down quite a bit. I had 2 shows that I was going to go to that I just ended up being like, no, I need to be doing stuff that needs to get done, or if I'm not going to be doing stuff that needs to get done, I just want to lay in my bed. Like, I don't want to go out in the world, deal with people. Like, I just want to lay in my bed and be quiet and relax and watch Flosstube. And yeah, so I had a comedy show on Friday night that I decided not to go to. And then last night was Sunday. I had a ticket to Stars on Ice, and I was pretty determined I was going to go to that until I woke up on Sunday. And I was just like, I am so tired. We have so much work to do today. If I go, then that also puts like a time crunch on me that I never appreciate. And so I actually, like around noon, I texted one of my friends to be like, hey, are you free tonight? And would you like to do this? And she was very sweet. She was like, oh my God, like I would definitely take your ticket, but is there anything that I can do for you to like get you to feel more comfortable, like that you could go? And I was just like, no, there's not. Like, I'm just simply too tired and in too much pain. And that's the thing too, is like, I'm never comfortable like in stadium or theater seating. Why? I'm already in so much pain and uncomfortable. Why do I want to go like spend 2 hours being even more uncomfortable? No. So she took my ticket, and that really did make me feel better that at least it wasn't, going to waste. Somebody got to go. And then she very sweetly, she went to the merch stand and she got me a signed program. And then she came all the way out to bring it to me. It was like an extra. She was already on the right side of town, but it was still an extra like 25 minutes to come all the way out to where I am. So I got to see her, and she got to see the house, and we made a date for her to come on Sunday we're gonna barbecue and have her for dinner. So yeah, I have no capacity. I have no fucks to give. That's just where we are right now. So anyway, I'm going to end this clip now, because between the first clip where I talked a half an hour and the 10-minute video, yeah, like this video is going to be too long. So, all right, I will show you my craft room, and then I'll show you some more stitching, and then we'll be done for me. Bye. So, yeah, this is the current state of the craft room. Yeah, I haven't done anything. This is exactly how it has looked for over a week now. Hopefully I'll get to it soon, like next week. Yeah, so here we are. Hopefully next month in June you'll get to see an after. Bye. So here is a small update to the craft room. I had to move all the boxes out so that I could arrange the furniture. And I'm pretty sure that I'm set now. So here's gonna be the floss. In these cubbies, I had my patterns and other various things. I don't know what I'm gonna put in this IKEA. This is a new piece of furniture for the craft room, repurposed from a different space. But I do know that on top of this is where my master set of DMC is gonna live. Right now, you'll see it when I turn the corner. Right now I only have a 1 set of drawers, but I'm gonna get 3. So the master set of DMC will live on top of there. These drawers don't fit, but I'm not married to keeping these drawers. I didn't have very much in them at the old house. And now with extra storage space, you know, maybe I don't need them at all. We'll see. Then this is the piece that was at my old house, but it was downstairs. Then this will be a fabric wardrobe. I had that in the craft room at the old house. We are going to be taking these closet doors off because I don't need them, because I'm going to have my desk, as you can see, in the closet. I put my little lamp in here because that way I can work, like I can try to look at fabric and floss on the desk. And even if this was in the middle of the room, I think it would be too dark. So I like having the task light there. My computer is going to go on that riser. And then this is the DMC drawers I was talking about. I'm going to buy 2 more of those. Like I said, these doors will be gone. And then this is the other wardrobe for fabric. So here's the space. I had to move all the boxes to my bedroom. So now I need to literally start tearing into those. And I figure for now, like I can just kind of throw things and then I can organize it better later. But yeah, so that's the space. And now I'm gonna start opening boxes. Bye. Hey y'all. Today is Sunday, May 31st. So this will be my last clip for the month of May. And all I have to show you, well, not all, but what I have to show you is my survivor stitching. So I decided after last time we spoke, which was almost a week ago, I had picked up that beach piece at the beach because I was like, this is like the easiest thing that I can work on right now. And I barely had my setup going over here. But then I decided that I really wanted to tackle my survivor stitching because Survivor had ended the week before. I needed to put in work on 3 pieces because there were a total of 5 players, you know, well, 4 were eliminated and 1 player won. So there was a total of like 5 players to stitch for. And so I needed to stitch on all 3 pieces. So this is Acorns and Friends. And I did I'll see if I can remember. I did 232 stitches. And that was for 2 players being eliminated. But I don't remember which 2. And so I color completed 2 colors. I know that the color that is right here was the color complete, but that was the second color that I completed, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember what the other color was, but yeah, so this is going well. I think this is at like 52%. This is probably going to be a Survivor Stitchy project until I finish it. Because when I tell you, I really want this finished piece, I think it's so cute, but I don't really enjoy stitching on it. And so I think that, you know, doing it like 100 stitches at a time through eliminations on Survivor is going to be the way. Just as a reminder, I decided that in order for me to do any kind of, you know, stitchy game like this, that my rule is basically going to be, I'm going to pick the 3 whips for the 3 tribes. Whatever tribe you were on when you started the game, that's your whip. So when it turns into an individual game, that's the whip that I work on for that person. and I'm only stitching for elimination, and I'm only doing like basically a strand. My strands are very long. I usually can get 100 stitches out of a strand at least. Or I'll just like, if I'm close to a color being completed, like that's kind of what I did with this one. This was 2 color completes. And so basically if I have like anywhere from 100 to 150 stitches left to finish a color, then, you know, I'll probably just finish the color. But I didn't really like leaving strands like in progress. So basically I'm like, I'll do a strand, I'll finish a color, something like that. So I'm playing it very loosey-goosey. But it's like 52% done. These trees are basically done, except there's like one spot up and over here that's missing a few stitches. But otherwise the trees are done. And yeah, I think when I play Survivor Stitchy next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually like have this positioned in the Q-snap in a way where I can work down here, because there's like a bunch of grass that would be really easy to be like, okay, 1 strand of grass and done. But I just can't really get to it. It's been a struggle to get as far down as I am. So I'll probably reposition this in the Q-snap so that I can work on some grass. But yeah, so I like it. I just don't like stitching on it. Then next up was Beachcomber. And I believe I only needed to do this for 1 player. So I think, what did I even do, y'all? I did this gray color, and I think this had 126 stitches left. And so I was like, yep, let's just bust it out. So I did, the gray was in here, and these little doodads. Oh, and also, wait, no, correction. I did 232 stitches on Beachcomber for 2 players. I only did 126 stitches on Acorns and Friends for 1 player. I actually think this was the one I worked on first. So I did this gray color, and I finished off this ecru like color. This is like the one, or no, there was a couple. This is a classic Colorworks, but I don't remember what it was called. But I had to finish the sand dollar in it, and then do these little doodads, and then I did the gray color. And so this was 232 stitches. Oh, and I did his little backstitch whiskers up there. So yeah, that color is done, and that color is done. And this actually only has 500 something stitches left. So I am gonna go ahead and finish this in June. Normally in June, I only work on stuff from Queer Designers, but I'm still working on getting my craft room unpacked, and my capacity is also still like pretty diminished. So I think what I want to do instead is I want to finish this. I'm going to finish the next project I'm going to show you, and then I'll have to take it from there, but I might go back to working on some of my pieces for the new house, and or my Broadway map. Just stuff that I already have out, stuff that's a little bit, the Broadway map is so easy on my brain. Also, if maybe, we'll see, the thought of it's really daunting right now, but again, since it's, you know, June is Pride Month, I do need to prep more fill-in on Trans Pride Tapestry so that I can start taking it to Stitch Group again. So it would be nice to get some more prep work on that, but we'll see. So, but I'm gonna finish this for sure. As soon as I finish the next one I'm gonna show you, then I'm gonna come back to this and finish it, because that's too close. I can't leave this sitting for a whole month. Like, if it weren't for the fact that this was specifically Survivor stitching and I finished, you know, the call for Survivor, I would have just like finished it. Because yeah, I'm like 583 stitches away. Anyway, so that's Beachcomber by Lindy Stitches. And then we have Move Forward in Love. It's actually just called Move Forward by Modern Folk Embroidery. And so this got a strand for somebody being eliminated. Again, I can't remember who. I think it might have been Rizzo. So it got a strand for somebody being eliminated, and then it got 500 stitches for the winner of Survivor. I decided to, like go big or go home for the winner. So since just a couple days ago, I did 132 stitches, I think, or maybe, I don't remember. I think it was 132. And basically I had worked on green because all I had left at that point was green and white, and I wanted to finish the green, but I still had like 200 something stitches of green. So I just did what a strand, took for me to do, which I think I had started. Okay, so I started here, and then I carried up to here, and then here, 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 here. So I think this green is what I did for Rizzo, and then I started in this, and then I had to come down here to finish the green, and then I started in on the white. So, but I went to exactly 500 stitches for the winner, and now this piece only has 385 stitches left. So this is going to be a finish. I'm working on this white right here, and then I need to do this white and this white. And then I need to fill in the letters. Man, when I tell you that the word forward looks so good in the camera, but it looks so bad in real life. If it looked this good, I would just fill it in with white. But I think I'm gonna have to fill it in with the $37.99 for all the words. But that, like, it's so dark. I just don't know what to fill this in with. We'll see. We'll see. But I need to make that decision soon because, like I said, I only have this and this and this left of white before I get to the words. So yeah, this is my plan, to finish this ASAP, and then finish Beachcomber, and then we'll see. I don't have much capacity for like plan making, but I will say that I am like excited to get back to some of my whips. Like, I'm really looking forward to, in July, I want to work on my home in the garden. Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe always hosts like a, well, she started last year, or maybe it wasn't last year, but the year before, with like a hello, it's my birthday or something. And so the stitch along was to like stitch on Liz Matthews stuff. And so, but then last year, I think I wanted to do Christmas in July, and I thought I didn't have any Liz Matthews Christmas, but I actually did. I started I didn't have it as a whip, but I did it as a new start, which was the Winter Star pillow. But this year, since I don't think I'm gonna do a Christmas in July focus. And if I do, I think I only have one Christmas whip. Pretty sure that I only have one Christmas whip. So I'm not a monogamous stitcher. And right now, I don't really want to start much of anything. Excuse me. In the month of May, I started, between April and May. No, in the month of May. I started 6 projects in the month of May. The 3 mermaid starts from Stitch North, and then my 3 projects for the new house. So I'm like at 30 whips, although I guess that is about to be 28 because I'm about to finish 2. But yeah, I'm just like, no, I'm started out. I don't want to start anything. So I could excuse me, I could definitely work on my one Christmas project, but then also, like I said, so I want to stitch on my home in the garden. I want to get back to that so bad. I also really want to stitch on, what is it called? Forest Home by the Blue Flower. I want to stitch on that really bad. I have a couple of projects, like I want to work on my like sampler of the sea, which I think I could just finish when I pull it out. I have a couple of my dog projects that I want to work on, like July and August. Like I'm in. I want to work on my older whips now. Partially because I have had them like unavailable to me for a while. So yeah. But you saw the state of my craft room since I filmed that last clip, which was just, I mean, that was just really a few hours ago. I filmed that like, I don't know, 8 o'clock something at night, and it's like 3:30 in the morning. I did unpack a bunch of boxes. So the boxes that you saw in that room, I think there was about 18 or 20 boxes, which is crazy to me that the craft room took that many boxes to pack up. And I think I did like 10 boxes. So I have 8 boxes left to unpack. One of those, though, actually, 2 of those aren't really even like, one of them is for my desk. Like, it's more like office-y stuff, like printer paper and staples and all that jazz. And then one of them is actually like all of my cross stitch finishes, like actually fully finished things like pillows and wall hangings and stuff like that, is just in a box. So it's really only 6 boxes to like find homes for things, which is not like, I am just trying to get the boxes unpacked. The room is going to be very disorganized, probably for a while, um, while I just find places for things. Also, my IKEA cubbies are in the room, as you saw, but like I don't have my the actual like cubicle cubby things, the fabric boxes, you know. So I've just been like placing things on the shelves, so it's really rough in there right now. But the main point is that I'm like getting through boxes. So, um, yeah. So, hopefully this week my goals for this next week are get, all the boxes in the craft room unpacked, and then also my dining room. I really want to get my dishes back in place and my decor on the shelves and stuff. Um, but yeah, so that is going to wrap up the month of May. Those are my very loose plans for the month of June. The dogs are doing much better. We were able to, I think it was, what night was it? Let's see, Wednesday night, I think. We were able to take them for a walk for the first time because I finally had a couple days where I wasn't doing like such physical labor every day. And I also like got a nap that day, which felt glorious, to get a nap. So I like wasn't tired like physically or mentally so much. So we took them for about a mile, like maybe 1.25 mile walk, and they were so happy. I think I feel like I talked about it in a video that like normally for exercise we would throw balls up and down the hallway, but here, even though we have a really long hallway, the floors are just so slippery. Like this LVP stuff is so slippery, that I feel like it's kind of maybe too dangerous. Even if I got like a runner, they're bound to like not be 100% on the runner, and they're gonna Yeah. Even on the hardwood, they would like slip and fall. So I don't think that we can play with balls in this house. Um, Maybe outside in the nicer months, we could throw balls for them outside. Um, but that's also kind of tricky because there are dogs on both sides of us. But anyway, so we took them for a walk and they were so happy. And then 2 nights later, on Friday night, we took them for another walk. I would love to take them, but I actually think maybe every other night was a little too frequent, because then the next day Atticus was pretty slow. So I think maybe every 3 days I would love to take them for a walk. There's a good 1 to about a mile of walking that like doesn't involve any hills or getting out on the really busy street, to go to a different neighborhood. There's another neighborhood that I really like to walk in, but I would have to go out onto the really busy road, to get and walk about um, 5 blocks on the really busy road to get to that neighborhood. But there's about a mile here, which is great. They're both older. You know, he's almost 13, she's almost 9. They don't need, and what's nice about the walk, you know, versus throwing balls is that the walk is so much more mental. Like they're seeing things, they're smelling things. Um, and walking in our old neighborhood just wasn't really that feasible. The roads were, it was 2 busy roads, and they were always just littered with trash, and like not even just trash but like glass too. Like people would throw glass out of their cars, and so I never really felt safe walking them in the neighborhood. So I'm really happy to both like be in a better neighborhood and like want to walk them, and so far I'm doing it. Like yeah. So, and then just as far as the house goes, like I'm really, really happy in general. The living situation is a little rough as far as I feel like there's 2 living spaces, but I just feel like neither one of them is really big enough for us, and what we need. And because there is like 5 of us always in the living space, you know, there's 3 humans and 2 dogs. But besides that, I'm pretty happy with the house in general, because like no longer do I feel like, I guess what I was feeling before in the 2-story house was like that everything, you know, everything upstairs when I was down or everything downstairs when I was up was so far away. And I guess that's just like neurospice, probably ADHD, like transitions being difficult. Everything just felt so far away. And here, I don't feel that at all. I've already been like way more successful with like doing laundry. Um, that's going better. Like, I still forget about it, don't get me wrong, because object permanency. But like the thought of getting the laundry to the laundry room has not daunted me at all. Like, so yeah, I just feel so much less overwhelmed by the house and the space. Um, but yeah, I think we still have some stuff to work out about like the best and safest way to keep the dogs away from the door. I think I am gonna have to get some mounted gates and mount a gate where you see that one. And then the other one, if I'm just wanting to block the dogs from the door, so that's like a closet right there. So I would do it like on the other side of that, like that side of the closet going over to the wall over there. And then that way we would have a nice like big entryway, where you don't feel like congested, or because like if I did it here over there, I feel like that would make the entryway really small. But yeah, so I'm probably gonna have to mount some gates, because like it's just so inconvenient to constantly have to pull those gates open to and squeeze through and stuff. It's really inconvenient. But yeah, you can see she's tuckered. He's kind of awake because I'm talking. He was sleeping really well. But yeah, so that's the update. That's where I'm at. And yeah, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Hopefully I'll get it posted in the next couple of days. And then the first thing you're gonna see is a finish on Move Forward when I come back. And then maybe some craft room updates this month too, or next month. All right, thanks everybody, and see you in the next one. Bye.